Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. I hope you guys are doing well tonight. We are going to actually do what I want to do, which is called solving system of equations. I still get a lot of people that are really struggling with this concept, so guess what? Have to switch up. All right, so if you ever want me to really focus on one thing, I do have my tutoring services available, so make sure you reach out to me. Now, I am still offering these mock practice tests if you want it. Okay, you only have to do is just show up. Okay, the tests are basically ready to go, ready to rock and roll for you. So, that's what you got to do. And also, as you guys are coming in, if you want to see the replays of this, I know it's kind of late for some people, and some people are just a little tired and just want to chill. So you just have to go here, do this, do this, do this, do this, and do this. And I'm going to have to change my live schedule because the school year is starting to come up. I'm starting to get really busy, and I just can't split myself in 3 different ways. And I definitely would love to go to bed at a somewhat decent hour, before midnight. That would be kind of nice. So if anything, this is going to starting this coming Sunday. But I'm only going to come Monday through Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then Saturday and Sunday is also going to be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, the Saturday and Sunday, it might fluctuate. So it depends if someone cancels, and I can slide that in there. I'm going to come on a little bit early. All right, so it's all about the fall is about to start, and I have to change my schedules up to accommodate because I gotta pay bills. All right, enough of that. Let's get started. So let me see if I can change everything up on here. Awesome. All right, I can see everyone. So as you guys are coming in, go ahead and get started and get tapping while you're still here. We know we're only going to get started at the 1K slot. So I know some of you guys are coming in and coming out, but if you want to do solving system of equations, let's get going. Hey Janice, how are you doing? Hey Robert, nice to see you. Oh, Miss Chantel, I see you sliding on in there. Hey Casey, how you doing? Hopefully everything is going well with you guys. I know it's always an interesting matter. You didn't think I saw you, Chantel, did you? That's what happens when you come in early. I see you just slide on in there. I hope she don't see me. So it is another thing. I know right now a lot of people are starting to get finals. I actually had to talk to one person and have a real heart-to-heart question. To say, are you really ready for this exam? Because I am not a miracle worker, guys. Everything that I do, I break down step by step, and it takes a lot of hard work. So just because you have a tutoring session or because you have a tutor does not mean that you're going to get an A on any exam. You still got to put work in, okay? That person's there is just to break things down, okay? How did I make my notebook? I sat down and I thought what my students need, and I just created my workbook. There it is. All right, awesome. Here we go. All right, a system of equation is basically 2 equations, 2 or more. But the majority of the equations that you guys are going to see is either 2. If you're like an advanced student that you're going into like pre-calculus or even honors algebra 2, you'll probably see like 3. And there will be a variable representing each one. So if we take a look at we have x plus y is equal to 12, and then 2x minus y is equal to 9. All right, So here we have a system, okay? So we have two equations, one that's x plus y is equal to 12. The other one is 2x minus y is equal to 9. So we can solve this one of two ways because the ultimate goal is we want to see where exactly these two lines are either going to intersect. Are they going to be basically two lines that are going to be parallel, so they're not going to intersect? Or are they basically two lines that's going to overlap each other? So I know one of the ways that I love to do is called linear combination. Okay, so I'm basically trying to eliminate one of my variables so I can find what's called that point of intersection. So I'm looking at same number. Okay, so if I look in front of these y's, both of them have a number 1 that's understood to be in front of it. But then the signs are different. One's positive and one's negative. So when I see the same number but different signs, I'm thinking about addition, and that is going to be the variable that I'm going to eliminate. Because when I add, when it's a positive 1 plus a negative 1, they cancel out. So that means right now my y's are going to temporarily cancel out. But everything else, just like how we used to add and subtract back in the day before, the time before algebra when everything just went left, right? So we're actually going to add the coefficients of my x's. Whenever you don't see anything, it's assumed to be a 1. So now we have 1 plus 2, that gives me 3x. Bring down my equal sign. So now I need my 12 plus 9. Excuse me. Ooh, so sorry. Okay, that gives me 21. I am so sorry because that was like probably right near your ear. I swear I covered. I swear, you're fine. So now we have 3x is equal to 21. So if we divide both sides by 3, then we have our x is equal to 7. Okay. Okay, so you took the math test. You don't think pass, but I studied so much, I think I have to take algebra 2. Okay. Well, if anything, let me let you know. Hey, Justin, how to know you? Just let me know if you do have to take algebra 2. Just let me know, and we'll see if we can figure out some sessions, because you can always study, but it'll just be like one thing that you thought you knew and all of a sudden you really didn't know, and that's probably the one piece that you might have to change up. It could be just small things like that. Okay. All right. So now, yeah, I remember Justin. He's like, I'm the one. I'm like, Justin Z. There's not that many Justin Z's that I always say something. All right, so now we found what x equals. Once you find your x, now you need to go back to one of the two original equations and substitute that 7 for the x to find your y. Now, this is me. Keep it simple. You can pick one of the two. It's perfectly fine. But I'm thinking about picking this first one because right now it's all about addition. So all we're doing is we're going to plug this 7 in for the x, and then we're going to solve that equation for our y. So now once we get here, we're going to subtract the 7 on both sides. 7's cancel out, give me 0, but I don't need the 0 because we still have that y. And then 12 minus 7, that gives us 5. So what you just found is the point of intersection. So that means these two lines are going to intersect at the coordinate of 7 and 5. All right. Okay. Yes, you could use Kramer's rule. Gotcha. But why? Right. It's just right to the point. Okay. But if you want to have fun with that, you can have fun with that. So let me explain. Because sometimes I do need to come on here and explain. The purpose of this spot is to help those that are just like, you know what, I've never really been good at math. Or to help those rediscover that, like, you know what, math is really not that bad. So I go through stuff step by step. If you feel that I'm doing everything and it's too slow, just skip on. Okay? That's the easiest way. Now, I'm here to respect all kinds of intelligence, all different kinds of level, and everyone's more than welcome. But once anybody steps out of line, kick rocks, getting you out. Okay? Because if you feel like, oh, I could teach this better than you, that's awesome. Go get your own channel. You know, attract your calling. Do what you got to do, boo-boo, because that's what you have to. But while I'm here, I'm just going to respect and I'm going to solve. Okay? Now, so back to life. Back to reality. So we have 2y minus x is equal to 6. Then we have y plus 3x is equal to 10. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Good. Well, thank you. All right. So we can do one of two ways. Again, I have the two methods over here, and there's actually a third, which is the graphing, and we've already done that before. So now we're kind of looking at it from the algebraic perspective. So we could solve for one of the two variables. Always shoot for the one whose leading coefficient or whose coefficient is 1. So for this one, I could solve for y and then take that information and plug it in to the other y. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll show you both ways with the same problem. So if I want to take this bottom equation and I solve it for y, the only way I can solve for y is if I subtract the 3x on both sides. So it's going to look something like this. And let me change colors so you can see it. So if I solve for y, it's going to be y equals, subtract the 3x, so that means I have a negative 3x and a positive 10, so it'll be a plus 10. So when I solve that bottom equation, I'm going to take this negative 3x plus 10, and I'm going to go and substitute it in for the y in the first equation. Hence the method called substitution. Okay? So if you think about it as a sports relation, when there's a substitution, one person's going into the game, one person's coming out of the game. All right? So there's no bits and pieces of their body parts still on the bench. Like all of them are going in and all of it's coming out. So they're going to replace. So the y is coming out of the game. Negative 3x plus 10 is going into the game. So it's going to look like this. You have your 2. You have your minus x equals 6. And all we're doing is substitute in negative 3x plus 10. Okay. So once the substitution occurs, now you are no longer, let me grab this, looking at what's going on up here. You're just going to focus on what's happening here, okay? Sometimes putting paper over what you just wrote so it helps you to focus tends to help. So now we're going to do the distributive property because if it was just, if this minus x wasn't there and it just had a 6 there, I can go ahead and divide both sides by 2. But because of this minus x, it's kind of screwing things up a little bit. Not really, but it is. So now I got 2 times negative 3x. That gives me a negative 6x. And then 2 times 10, that gives me a positive 20. Now I'm bringing down my minus x and my equals 6. Okay, let me cover that. So now we're going to combine like terms. Always look what's happening on the same side of the equal sign. Is there anything that we can combine? So we have a negative 6x and we have a negative x. So that right there gives me negative 7x. Bring down your plus 20. Bring down your equals and 6. Okay. Cover that up. So now you can focus right here. We're trying to get x by itself. Now, you cannot divide everything by negative 7 because that negative 7, that's not isolated yet. Okay, we still got this 20 that's in the way. We need to shoo them out. Okay, so we're going to subtract 20 on both sides, which gives me a negative 14. Right? Now, dividing both sides by what? Negative 7. Which gives me x is equal to positive 2. I know, all of this just for a positive 2. I know, it's crazy. But this is one portion, okay? Half of our answer. Now we found the x, now we need to find the y. So we could go back to one of the two equations, but guess what? I'm lazy because this is already set up for us for y. Why not use that? So we're going to put that over here. We have our y equals negative 3, and instead of the x, we're going to plug this 2 in. So now all we have to do is we got our y equals negative 3 times 2 gives me a negative 6 plus 10. So now we have our y equals negative 6 plus 10. That gives me a 4. So what you just found is the point of intersection at 2, positive 4. This is our official answer. Okay. So that was through substitution. I know, a lot. But just like I always like to do, I like to show you both ways. I like to show you two ways because when you take a lot of these standardized tests, they don't care which way you do. They don't. They really don't. All they care about is, did you pick A, B, C, or D? Which one did you pick, right? So when it comes down to these, you're going to pick a way that you feel comfortable with, okay? That's what I really want you to understand. So that was through substitution. Now, if I want, which I do, I'm going to show you how to do it, the same exact problem, but I'm going to show you through elimination. Okay, so before I go through that, I'm going to come back and let's see all the 60 million two comments. They're like, you can do elimination. I know that. Audrey, why don't you just do elimination? Man, you guys got to stop drinking coffee before bed. All right, so we got that. That's how I got for, okay. No, but tapping this, or, okay. Michael, please. You were never good in math. You just didn't have someone to guide you. You got it. You really got this math. Like, you really do. If you know how to figure out a way to get up every morning, do a job, come home, make something to eat that's not going to kill you, you can figure out math. Trust me, darling. You can do it. Okay? All right. Okay, Cocoa Waters was a little confused. When did you come in? Thank you for tapping. Okay. Can move. Expel. Okay. All right. Can I explain the first step? Okay. Okay. Oh, I got a troll here. Okay, that's nice. I know. Usually when I get like around 400 people, I get some kind of trolls. That's kind of nice. Makes me feel special. All right. Okay. So some people ask for the very first step. Okay, I can do that. So my original is what's in black. So you have your 2y minus x equals 6. We add a y plus 3x equals 10. So this was called the substitution method. So that means I need for one of these two equations, it didn't matter which one you picked, you just have to make a decision in life, okay? It's really not that pressing. So I picked the y because y is positive. I know I won't have to worry too much about negatives. All I would have to do is subtract the 3x on both sides so I can isolate that y. So when I do that, here's my negative 3x, because remember I subtracted, and then I brought down the plus 10. So this is what I'm going to go in and use to substitute in for y in the first equation. So this y is going to come out, bing, and the negative 3x plus 10 is going in. So that's where this part came from. And then from here, we distribute, we combine like terms, we isolate the variable, and we isolate the variable even further to get our x equals 2. Now, we need to find our y because order pairs comes in x and y. So since we have our x, we need to find our y. So I just basically used the same formula or the same equation that we solved earlier to substitute. We can use that one because it's already set up for y equals. So we take the 2, plug it in for the x, then we do our multiplying, then we do our simplifying, and then we got our y. So all we had to do is find that point of intersection. Remember, x comes before y. That's how you got your 2, 4. Okay? Is that okay, Caden? I think it was Caden. Something with a C. All right. Okay. Yes. First method is definitely quicker. But, Caden, all right, there you go. So now, we're going to do elimination. So elimination, that means we have to have my x's and y's lined up, and also my constants, and we need to figure out what we want to eliminate. It's not that pressing. It's not that cray-cray. So here we go. We have, I'm going to rewrite the problem. So we have our 2y minus x is equal to 6. And then we have our y plus 3x is equal to 10. All right. So now we want to eliminate one of our variables. In order for you to eliminate, they have to be the same number, as well as one should be positive and one should be negative. That will make your life so much easier. All right. So let's take a look. We can figure out which ones do you want. Do you want to eliminate your y's or do you want to eliminate your x's? You get to choose. Which one would you like to eliminate? Hey, Amber, how are you? Not sure what Math 4 is, but pre-calculus, yes. Okay, so I'm saying x. I got 2 for the y's. I got an x, I got a y. Okay, right now it's even. How did you get y? Okay, so we got x, we got y's. Okay, we got our y's. It looks like our y's. Oh, well. All right, it looks like the x's. Okay, got two more. I was about to say, oh, it's going to be the y's. Oh, no. Oh, all right, we got x's. We got x's. Oh, all right, two more. Two more, let me see. Two more. Oh, splitting up. All right, we already did substitute, Terry. You're a little late. There we go. X's it is. I'm sitting there counting. I'm like, Devin's asking. Felt like I was going crazy. All right, so take a look at your X's. Okay, one's negative, one's positive. So half of our quest is already done. But the other half is they're not the same numbers. So this is assumed to be a 1. This is a 3. So basically, we need something that they need to be in common. It'll be easier for me to make this x into a 3, a negative 3 in fact, than me trying to take 1/3 of this. And we all know how you guys feel about fractions. You're going to have to get over it. But I understand. If you have a choice, go. Take the choice. Take the whole numbers, right? So we could, through multiplication, change this -1 to a -3. But this is the thing. You can't just multiply just that one term. You got to multiply this whole entire equation. Because if we're going to do any kind of, rearranging, you have to do it through everything. It's not like, okay, yeah, let me just go get, the fat in my chin removed, and then my butt's looking crazy. Like, no. If you're going to do it. Just even it all out. Look all proportional, for heaven's sakes, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply that whole top equation by 3. I know, that was a weird example, but here we are. It's after 9:30 at night. Oh, it's after 10 at night. And I've been tutoring and working all blessed day. So, you're going to get the crazy Audrey today. All right, so let's multiply. 3 times 2y, that gives me 6y. 3 times -x, that will give me a -3x, equals 3 times 6 will give me 18. And then the equation at the bottom is just going to come along for the ride. Just rewrite the whole thing. So now, just like how we used to do math back in the day before things got confusing and weird, we're going to add those two equations together. So now you have 6y plus y, which gives me 7y. And my x's, like my x's in life, are gone. So -3 plus a +3, x, they're gone, including the x. The x is gone, everything. Like, he is gone. All his stuff, gone. No memory. Completely erased, okay? You don't want to be like, oh, well, this is the cute little thing that he bought me when we first got married. Shut up. Throw it out. He's gone. All right. Bring down the equal sign. So now you got 18 plus 10. That gives me 28. So now 7y equals 28. We want to divide both sides by 7. And then we have y equals 4. That sounds familiar. That's similar to what we got up here. Okay, so we still have the same answer of y. And guess what? We still need to figure out x. So since we already, wow, a lot of stuff going on here. Since we already know, we can go back to one of the two original equations. Now, this is the reason why I go back to the original equations. I made this top equation larger by multiplying it. Why would I want to put something in to deal with larger numbers? Too cray-cray. Bring it all together. So let's use this bottom one. I don't know, it looks friendly. So we have our y plus 3x is equal to 10. And we're going to substitute this 4 in for the y. And we're going to solve that equation for x. So next thing that we're going to do, we're going to subtract this 4. Then you have your 3x is equal to 6. Then we divide both sides by 3. And x equals 2. So our point of intersection, just as we saw it earlier, will be 2, 4. All right, yay. Oh, don't be terrified. One, I just want to let you know, thank you for sharing that, because one, I'm proud of you to take that step. That you're like, you know what, I want to go back to school, I want to do this. Everyone keeps wishing and hoping that they can do this. You're actually going to do it, and I'm proud of you for that. So thank you for sharing that. Now, going back to math, at least you know you have a place to go to get support. Okay, you can come here. There's another place that you can come. You can go here to get some of the resources. Take a look at some of the videos because all of my lives are here. Okay, so at least you have that. And then also, that's part of my service. Okay, I love coming here on TikTok and sharing some of my math skills and hopefully, debunking that you can't do math, which you can. But I'm also here to do tutoring, to sell my books, to sell my courses, as well as, just sharing my knowledge. Okay. I'm not sitting here trying to say that I am the bee's knees when it comes to math. Like, yes, I'm a human genius. Like, no. I used to suck at math and I had to work really hard. And next thing you know, I became a math teacher. I don't know. I guess our pain is our purpose. So if you ever need assistance with it, I'm here. I'm here for it. And right now, this is where my course is. If you do need assistance and you want prices, make sure, because my prices are going to go back up. Fall is literally not next week, but the week after. All my students, most of my students go back to school, especially the ones in Alaska. So yeah, get me when you can get me, because it's just going to get crazy in a few. Okay, is it Codner? Yep, yes it is. As the fish. Okay. All right. There you go. Do I tutor for the praxis test? Yep, yes I do. So you better jump on, because I'm starting to get more people asking about praxis. But the main thing is, please make sure you know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Because I already had to talk one person out of it. I'm like, dude, how are you going to teach elementary math and you don't know, or how are you going to teach elementary school and you don't know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide? This is not the thing for you. I will tell you the truth. I mean, I don't want to kill your dream, but I'm going to be truthful. You can't teach kids and you don't understand. Okay? Just basic concepts, my babies. Just basic concepts. Yep. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you, Jess. I appreciate you saying that too. All right. All right. Okay. Yeah, in middle school? Okay, you want to do high school? All right, I got you. All right, what state? What state? Go ahead, keep on tapping, darlings. Keep on tapping. I'm just going to set everything up. And then plus, you also got a teacher. Like, I love teaching, but I will be real with you. It is not for the faint of heart. You're going to be there wanting to do right for the kids, but my thing is, the culture is not for the faint of heart. Because you'll be like, wait, you want me to help the kids, right? I mean, I thought that's the whole purpose of us being here. Oh, no, we want to sit here and talk about emails, and we want to talk about, meetings out the wazoo where you guys make all these promises and you don't follow through, but me as the teacher, I have to follow through it. But you are the ones that made the arrangement. All right, cool. Bet I got you. So, trust and believe. And those are the special times, the special moments when you're in class and your class finally realizes that you care. Because they've had so many teachers that say they care and just fall flat every time. So whatever you do, if you do get into the classroom, be real. Be real with your kids. That's what they want. They don't want anybody to kiss their butt. Be real with them. If they say they're going to call their mama, go call the mama. Give them the phone. I want to speak to your mama. I want to find out how far is this apple falling from the tree. Like, I want to see it. Okay. Yeah. Because as teachers, and sometimes it's not the parents. Not all the time. Right. Do not feel embarrassed, Jess. Do not. Okay. You're all right, in Jersey? All right, cool. Yeah, don't be embarrassed. You're making changes. Now, the embarrassing part is if you know that you lack something and you do nothing about it. And it's within your control. That's what's embarrassing. Okay? There's no embarrassment about like, look, I was never good at math. That's all right. But now you're making adjustments. So I want everyone to feel my passion about that. If you think I'm full of it, go ahead and move on. All right? Okay. Let's get this one together. So we saw both ways. We have seen substitution in all this glory. And we have seen elimination with a little bit of multiplication. Me personally, if I'm taking a test and someone asks me to find the point of intersection, I'm doing the elimination. I don't know about you, but that's just me. So I'm going to look at my x's. I have a 2 and I have 11. I know they're negatives, but I'm just looking at so I can get my factors together. I'm looking at a 2 and 11. I'm looking at a 3 and a 5. I don't know about you. You can do matrix algebra. Have fun with that. All right? Because some of these people, remember, GED, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER, they can't use a calculator. That's the part that a lot of you guys keep forgetting. And it's a timed assessment. So we want to keep it as basic and as feasible and as quickly as possible. Now, here's my thing. Ready? If I do see multiple choice, plug in and see if it works for both equations. So if they gave me, I don't know, I'm just throwing like the 2 and the 4, right? If say one of my answers is 2 and 4. So that means for my x's, I'm plugging in 2s. For my y's, I'm plugging in 4s. And I'm taking a look to see when I plug those answers in, when I multiply and then I add the 2 together, will it equal a negative 2? If I multiply my 2 and the negative 11 and the 5 and the 4, if I add those two answers up, will it equal 35? That is probably the easiest and quickest way to get to your answer. Okay? We like to call it back in the day, plug and chug. All right? But it has to work for both equations. All right? Okay? On holiday, MK, I would love to say yes. But remember, some people still take classes during the summer. So this is what we are. All right? Okay? So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to work on the 15s. I'm going to work on the 3 and the 5. So that means I'm going to multiply this top equation by 5. I need to multiply this bottom equation by 3. But right now, both of them are positive. And the only way I can cancel them out is if one is negative and one is positive. So I can make one of the two. Doesn't matter. I'll make the bottom one a -3. Why not? So now, for the top one, let me see if I can use this pen. I'm going to distribute this 5 to everything inside of that parenthesis. So it's going to look like this. -2x times 5 gives me -10x. Five times 3y gives me a positive 15y. Equals 5 times -2 gives me -10. All right. So now I'm going to distribute this -3 to everything inside the parenthesis. So -11 times -3, that gives me a positive 33x. -3 times 5y gives me my -15y. And then we have our -3 times 35. That gives me a -105. Okay. So now, I forgot where my paper went. We're not worried about this side anymore. We're just going to focus on this. So we're going to add those two equations up. Okay. So now we have a -10 plus 33. So that's going to give me 23x. So we did our job. We have a positive 15y and a -15y. They cancel out to give me 0. Bring down our equals. We have a -10 and a -105. So that gives me a -115. Yeah, okay. So we're doing this to kind of help break it on down. So now, what do I do next? Let's get a little involvement with you guys. I feel like I'm ignoring people for a bit. Okay, what should I do next? Thank you. Okay, divide 23, divide 23, divide by 23. Good. Divide both sides by 23. Awesome. So this will give me x is equal, a negative divided by a positive is a negative, and that's a -5. Yep. Okay. Victoria, what's wrong? What do you mean why? Yep, we're going to do this to get x alone. Yep. All right. So now, we found x. With the system of equation, when we first started, we had an x and a y. So we found what x is. Now we got to do substitution to find what our y is. So let's go back to one of the two original equations. Now, this is me. This top equation is looking pretty sweet because we got a -2, a 3, and a -2. All right. Whereas the bottom one, I got 11, I got 5, and a 35. So this is just me. Let's keep it simple. So I'm going to recopy that top equation. So we have -2x plus 3y is equal to -2. So we're going to plug in a -5 in for the x. So we have -2. We're going to plug in that -5 plus my 3y is equal to -2. Here it is. So now we have -2 times -5. That gives me a positive 10. Bring down y plus 3y equals -2. So now we're solving for y. Let me cover this up so you can focus. Okay, so if we want to get 3y by itself, that means I need to subtract this 10. Okay, whatever's on the same side as the y, we want to get rid of because we're trying to get that 3y, in this case, by itself. So -2 and -10, since they're both negatives, keep that negative sign and add them together, which gives you a -12. So now we divide both sides by 3. And now we have y is equal to -4. Because -12 divided by a positive 3 will give me -4. So my point of intersection, remember, x comes before your y's. Okay? Sometimes we get so caught up that we're just like, oh, okay, my answer is -4, -5. No, make sure your x comes first, which is your -5, and then your y, which is a -4. So this is your official answer. That's your point of intersection. That's where these two lines are intersecting. Okay. Well, thank you all for the shares and the follows. I love how someone says time to delete. Okay, can we do another one? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we will. All right, so if you know of anyone that's thinking about getting their GED, that's thinking about trying to go after their the ASVAB, trying to raise their score so they can get a better job and more money. If you're going back to school and you need the ACCUPLACER and you want to score higher so you don't have to take a class or 2 classes that's going to be really basic and that you are basically paying for but not getting any accreditation for, just let me know. Reach out. That's what I do. You, GED, John, reach out to me. Okay? Definitely reach out. Haven't done this in forever. I know, right? It's like hot pants. It's just like you cleaning out your closet and you're like, ooh, I haven't seen these jeans in forever, but they still fit. Yes! Don't you love that? And they still fit. Oh, PTSD. I know. And you probably got that because you really had a really bad teacher. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can convert it. List. Do you have a list to play with? What do you mean, a list? Do I have a list to play with? A list of what? I'm scared. A list of problems? Yes. I always have a list of problems prepared. As long as I have a concept, I'm just like, okay. Yeah. I like to be prepared. I don't like to be like, let me just throw something out there against the wind. Being fun for you? Oh, period. School still bothers me that I can't just do. That's okay. More of a science person? Cool. It is a lot of steps. It is a lot of steps. Oh, thanks, John. John's like, I'm holding on to 6%. It's okay. All right. I'll see if I can get through this one. There is a lot of steps, especially with systems, but this is a lot calmer than the substitution. Sometimes the substitution is a bit much, but sometimes the substitution is the best way, So, like I said, it's going to be up to you. Now, if you struggle with your multiplication, you definitely want to kind of revisit. So let's do this one. So if I said x minus 2y and it equals negative 9, and we have 3x plus y equals 1. Okay. So this one, you can go either way. You can do it through substitution or you can do it through elimination. It's going to be completely up to you. Okay? All right. Not a problem. Get into pre-apprentice. Oh, okay. I feel like, Victoria, a lot of those pre-tests, I don't know what exactly they test because I have tutored like 3 people on it. No, I lied. 2 people on it. And it just seems like if you really understand the basic concepts, but you really have to understand like your multiplication, your fractions, and really understand what algebra is. It just seems like the practice test that they give you and the test they give you is like 2 separate things. I don't know why it is. I've always heard that the test is so much harder than the practice stuff that's out there. But we'll chat. Okay, so definitely chat with me. All right. Calc 2. Yeah, Calc 2 will definitely give you nightmares. All right, so here's the decision that I'm going to make. I'm going to do elimination. Okay, if you want me to do substitution, I'll do substitution at the end of elimination. Okay, so what do I want to eliminate? I want to eliminate my y's. Okay, I want to eliminate my y's. So if I eliminate my y's, this has a negative 2, this has a positive 1. So since I'm seeing one's negative, one's positive, that's why I shot for the y's, because half of the work is done. I told you I'm lazy. So I need to change this 1 to a 2. And I can do that by multiplying by 2. But I have to multiply that whole entire equation by 2. Just because if I'm going to rearrange one thing, I got to rearrange the whole entire thing. So the equation at the top is going to stay exactly the same. So x minus 2y is equal to negative 9. But the equation on the bottom, we're going to multiply everything by 2. 2 times 3x gives me 6x. 2 times y gives me a positive 2y. And 2 times 1 gives me 2. So we're going to take those two equations and we're going to add them together. The reason why I put the addition sign and circle it is to constantly remind me that you're adding. Because after you do a lot of these problems, you get a little loopy, right? So now I'm going to add vertically like we used to back in the day. In front of that x, remember if you don't see anything, it's assumed to be a 1. So now we have 1x plus 6x, that gives us 7x. Negative 2y plus positive 2y, they give us 0, but I don't need that placeholder because I got 7x on the same side. Bring down my equals. Now you have negative 9 plus 2. When the signs are opposite, you're actually subtracting. So if you think of it this way, you owe me $9. You paid me 2. You still owe me $7. Okay, think of money. Sometimes that helps. So now we have 7x is equal to negative 7. So we want to divide both sides by 7 because we're trying to get the x by itself. And negative 7 divided by 7, that gives me a negative 1. Okay. All right. All right. So now, we found what our x is. Now we just need to substitute to find what our y is. We can go back, and my suggestion is go back to one of the two original equations because over here, we did a little rearranging, okay? We doubled everything up. So we can go back to this single equation here, or we can go to the one equation that we didn't touch. It doesn't matter. You're going to get the same answer. So if I look at the one we haven't touched, so it's the x minus the 2y is equal to negative 9. But we're going to plug in the negative 1 for the x. And then we're going to bring everything else down. Okay. So now we're going to add 1 to both sides, because we're trying to isolate the variable. And the variable is the y. So right now we got the negative 2y is equal to negative 9 plus 1. When the signs are different, you're really subtracting. Because if you owe me $9 and you paid me $1, that means you owe me $8. Okay, you still owe me my money. Okay, be like Stewie beating you up with my money. Better have my money. Stewie. All right, so divide both sides by negative 2. Then you have y equals a negative 8 divided by negative 2. Negative divided by negative is always going to be positive. Okay, 8 divided by 2 will give me 4. So we found our y. So now we have our point of intersection. Point of intersection is my x value, which is negative 1, and my y value, which is 4. This is my point of intersection. right. Okay, how are we feeling? Okay, and for those that did intersection, you probably got the same answer. All right. Okay. No news means good news to me. All right, I'm taking that as everyone's doing pretty good. Okay, so that was solving, okay, system of equations. Okay, you got two methods that were talked about. We have substitution and we have linear combination, which is called elimination. Some people will say elimination with multiplication. Everyone has different versions of it, but no matter what, you're trying to find your point of intersection. Now, if you like the display of my notes, this is a notebook that I designed. After talking to a lot of my tutoring kids, they usually just get packets of notes. If you guys are teachers, I know it's easy to make packets for kids, but trust me, they're not looking at their notes. So now for this, it gives them a space to put their formulas. It gives them a space to write down their steps if they ever need them, okay? And it also, for you as a teacher, kind of give you some space or to check their moods, all right? Sometimes before a lesson, just ask them to circle up. During the lesson, just a quick circle up. After the lesson, especially principals love that. Like, how do you know that your kids are learning? Well, then now you can just say, well, it's part of the notebook that I have. And this is not just whole Cornell Notes Inspired notebook. I also put resource pages in the back, okay? I'm just finishing up my Algebra 1, pre-algebra, Algebra 1, but I have factor sheets going from 1 all the way to 200. So if multiplication is your problem, I got you. All right, so if you're trying to break down radicals, if you're looking for the factors so you can break down those quadratics, I got you, all right? Then you have your rules of integers, just in case you forget what they are. Then also the order of operations, both here in the States and also international, because I know Canada likes to use this version as well. The properties of exponents, also looking at those linear and quadratic equations. Then we are looking at properties of quadrilaterals, a little bit with the volume and also the surface area, area of sector, arc length. We also have the area and perimeter and also circumference of circles. Then you have Pythagorean's theorem. We have the SOHCAHTOA and SOHCAHTOA identities, as well as the unit circle. So they're all here. And of course, the newer version is coming out the end of this month. So just be on the lookout just in time for back to school. So if you like the notes, maybe you just like my notes and you're just like, hey, Audrey, what can I do to get copies of your notes? Well, you can get Audrey's notes. It's just like Cliff Notes, right? So it's all the notes that I have since February the 2nd. So I've been copying down all my notes, and I decided to just put it inside of a book. And then what happens is I have the QR code. So if you scan the QR code, it will take you directly to the live that's connected to these notes. So you can follow along. It'll be great for enrichment. You can speed up, you can slow down, you can pause, you can do whatever you need to do. So you have all of this listed right now. This is book 3. Currently at book 4 is out, and we're currently working on book 5. So if you're interested in those, I have that. If you want, hey, where can I go and get these? You can either go here, okay, to basically get them, or you can go here. It'll take you directly to my bookstore. And usually when you place an order, it takes about a week for my personal bookstore for it to come out. All right. Okay. Yes, you can definitely buy one. You can buy more than one. Yeah. So if anything, you go there, you can go here. If you're interested in any self-paced courses, like especially for my GED, ASVAB, if you're giving yourself more than a month to learn math. I love how everyone's trying to learn algebra in like 2 weeks. Like, no. And then you're like, well, what equation can I study? All of them. There's so many equations. It's ridiculous. So, but I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to what's the fastest way that I can get what I need to get? Well, guess what? Your brain doesn't work that way. You're going to start screwing things up. So it's going to be like a lot of practice. It's going to be a lot of tactics. Now, before I leave, if you ever want to learn how to study math, you do not flip through pages. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I know that. No. You take one of the problems. Let's say you take this problem here. You want to do dividing. You'll take a separate sheet of paper. And on that separate sheet of paper, you're going to write out the problem. And then you're going to take your notes and you're going to put it off to the side. And then you're going to work on that said problem on that said sheet of paper. And after you're done, you're going to use your notes as an answer key. That's how you study math. It takes steps. You can't just flip through pages and say, yeah, I know the math. No, you don't. Okay? And even though you're like, oh, this is how I study, how's that working for you? It's not. Okay? I love you. I say this out of love. It's not. Okay? You can convince yourself that you know something. And then when you flip through the answers, Bob, remember Bob, back of the book? When you go to the back of the book, you're like, oh, yeah. Oh, the answer's 2. Yeah, I knew that answer was 2. No, you didn't. I love it. I love how you do it. Okay? So, if anything, yes, I do not do calculus, but there is a gentleman, Robert, I think he's live right now as we speak. He does calculus. He is Robert, the AP guy. Yes, that's Robert. Yes, he will do calculus. And he's Main Street Tutors. No problem. Yep, so definitely check him out. I think he's live now, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Okay, well. Oh, you're taking it in the fall? Yep. Definitely don't wait until you're like, I don't know how to do this. No. When you guys go for tutoring, you're about to go into classes and you haven't been in the classroom for a while, get a tutor as soon as you start the class. As soon as you start. Because then you will not have that stress and anxiety close to the end of the course. Because most of the time, these college classes, you'll take it for like maybe 7 weeks, maybe 12 weeks. Okay, there might be one of a few schools will have it for 15 weeks. But you're trying to learn a whole year of math in 15 weeks. And you see each other maybe 3, maybe 4 times a day. It doesn't matter if you're in class for 5 hours. Still, no. Okay. All right. Yes. And I believe you're going to be fine. Because if you have the drive and determination to want to take the class, you register for the class, you paid for the class, you're going to do it. Right? You're going to do it. Yep. Period. Would you stop? I know this is probably like your defense mechanism, but trust me, you're going to be okay. I can't believe how much math I have. Well, it shows if you don't use it, you lose it, right? And then all of a sudden, people are like, oh, you want to get a better job? Hey, you want to be a barber? Hey, you want to be a receptionist? Hey, here's an algebra test. You're like, what? Exactly. So people are doing that nowadays. So there's no escape. Yep, there's no escape. I know. All right, everyone. I am actually going to wrap up. So tomorrow is what? Tomorrow is Thursday. I will be here tomorrow night at 9:30. I'm not sure about the 1 o'clock. I supposedly have someone then, but if they don't show up, I might step on at 1 o'clock. But I want to be consistent as best I can, but guess like everything else in life, there's no consistency. You just ride the wave as best you can and hold on. All right. Oh, I know, Jess. Oh, I know. But if anything, okay, there's like 196, 198 that's here. If you want to, not problem user, just do a mad tap, see if we can get to 50K. That would be fabulous. And I'm trying to think, what else? What else do you guys need? I'm still doing the mock practice trials, especially for those that are taking, especially the college algebra and ACCUPLACER. If you're taking any of those assessments, I'm still doing the mocks. Today, no one was a no-show, so hey, can't help that. So Wednesday's done. So all we have is Saturday, this Saturday, and this Sunday. So if you want to practice, if you want to like, okay, I just want to kind of go through and see how it feels to take an exam and actually have someone go through answers with you. That's what I do. I'm giving up my weekend so I can help you. But at the same time, it helps me too. Helps me to develop some stuff. Yeah, I don't do physics. But here's the thing. If you do need a physics tutor period, I know people that are amazing. Okay. Oh, Robert, you're here. I thought you're going live. Yeah. Who was it? It wasn't period. It was Alex. Alex Silva. Because he's taking calculus in the fall. So just want to give you a heads up. Yeah, Alex Roberts here. He's under Main Street Math. There you go. Okay. All right. So, anything in particular you guys want to see? Math-wise. Gotta clarify that nowadays. Jeez. For like TikTok's like, oh, you're trying to solicit. No, I'm not. Okay, and thank you for the follows, everyone. The follows, the likes, all of that. I mean, I greatly appreciate it. Because I know it's not easy tapping and even, like, responding. Because with me being on the other side of the mirror, sometimes I'm like, ugh, I can't even type. I can't get my words out so quickly. So, but that's what we go through. Alright. Yeah, I was. Nothing too crazy. It's always the graphs and those things usually get people. I tried to do the basic stuff. I was doing trig yesterday. Or last night. I'm not so sure if you were here or not. But a lot of that is in the ACCUPLACER. So I'm like going through the ACCUPLACER books that I've had, and I was like, oh shoot, I didn't teach that yet. So gotta throw that in there. Yep, law of sines, law of cosines. Okay. I think I had that on my list and what happened. Probably Probably a client pissed me off and I had to do something else. I'm like, what do you mean? So, yeah, I think it was one of those rage days that I had. I was like, I'm on a 10. I had something planned. You know, but it's tough planning all this stuff. My goodness, people, you have no idea. You know, like you guys said, I sit here with a list of stuff and it's just, whoo. But again, if you need the recordings, just go here and make sure you do this, 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 and this. Especially this. Okay? I'm going to try to get my shorts done on Fridays. So, because I haven't done shorts in about a couple of weeks. But things are starting to go. All right. Yeah, that's true. Okay, cool. All right. Well, everyone, 50K point whatever is fabulous. I greatly appreciate you guys. I love the tapping. All the gifts. I greatly appreciate it. But I will definitely be here again at 9:30 tomorrow. I'm not sure about 1 o'clock, but definitely 9:30 tomorrow. All right, so have a lovely evening, and I will see you guys the next time. Last 2 days trying to figure out whether I wanted to start Stats Live this week. I will start it next week. Why not? I think a lot of people will actually gravitate towards it, especially, who did I have? I had I had statistics last night. What did we do? We're doing the confidence, the critical values and the confidence. So that's where some people are for statistics right now. If anything, go over standard deviation again. With the 68, 95, and 99 points. I forget because it's not in front of me right now. But that's where they are right now. Plans to stats next week. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be cool. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Are you going live now, or are you already, Robert? Are you already going live? Or did you go already? I can't remember. I can't remember everyone's schedule. I can't do it no more. All right. Good night, Jess. Thank you so much. And then just let me know how things are going with you. Okay, at 3. Okay, cool. All right, everyone. Have a lovely night. Again, if you need books, if you need tutoring, if you need like basically everything you need, you can go here. Okay, but if it's just the books, you can go here. All right, but there is a link here that will take you here. So if you just want to go here, this will work. I know this is great. You go here to go here to go here. Okay, but if you go here, you can definitely reach out and just contact me. You can just DM me. I'll even check my list of requests. So if you're just like, we're not friends yet, I always check my list of requests to see if there's anything. And don't just say hi, because I'll just delete it. Like, actually tell me what you need. Okay? All right. Love you guys. Keep being awesome. Keep striving for greatness. Trust me, don't let anyone try to dim your light. I will greatly appreciate you each and every time. I'll see you tomorrow night. Bye now.